presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
Perfect day for tailgating at Miller Park. We have matinee baseball on this Wednesday afternoon. Beautiful days. The roof wide open for the Cubs and the Brewers, and the Brew Crew going for a sweep of their Central Division rival. Left-handed pitcher Travis Wood on the mound. He has never lost to the Brewers. Matches up with Gallardo, who has been brilliant over his last 4 starts. And a new twist on the value of a hit and a run. Corey Hart, Jonathan Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez responsible for the only 3 hits in the game yesterday, but it produces 5 runs and sets the Brewers up for a potential sweep. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Davey Nelson. Great to have you here as our broadcast continues for Brewer baseball. And the first 2 games of this series so far have produced milestones for Mark Rogers and Marco Estrada. Win number 1, which is good.
Boy, long time coming for the boys, but they're well-deserved. Mark Rogers had it going for him, got off to a little shaky start. But you know what? The good thing was that he's had some games where they blew, and now they end up scoring late for him to go ahead and get his first victory. Marco Estrada pitched outstanding to get his first victory. Had that curveball, came out of hiatus, and he found it again and was able to get his first win.
First career win for Rogers, first win of the year for Estrada, and these 2 are part of the Brewers' future. And looking ahead, the Brewers clear the way today for them by releasing 36-year-old veteran Randy Wolf. Only 3 wins this year, only 1 since the month of April, and after winning 13 in each of the last 2 seasons, Randy Wolf released today. Yovani Gallardo has been nearly lights out over his last 4 starts. B and Rock tell us why he may be pitching as well as anyone in the majors right now.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible.
Beautiful day for baseball today at Miller Park. Giovanni Gallardo, it's his turn today. He has been very good against the National League Central for all teams other than the St. Louis Cardinals. You see his record lifetime against the Cubs, a 5-2 record, a 3.15 earned run average. And Giovanni matches up against the Cubs today. Hello, everyone. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin. It's the final game of the series and a chance for the Brewers to sweep the Cubs. And Rocket's going to be Giovanni Gallardo. Now, he missed, he went away from the ball club for a couple of days. And I'm asking, you think he's going to be in mental shape to come back today because he's got a family issue at home? He did get a side session, but he's back today.
Oh, yeah, you hope he's going to shrug it off. But right now, he's got a lot of confidence going into this start. He's won 4 straight, allowing only 6 runs in that stretch. I mean, outstanding work. Ron Renneke saying that he had his best curveball in his last start. So if anybody could shrug off something like that, it's going to be Giovanni Gallardo, given the fact that before this 4-game winning streak, the 2 losses in a row, he gave up 11 runs. So he's been on a nice turnaround. Giovanni Gallardo, just the kind of a guy to finish off this sweep of the Chicago Cubs.
Well, he left after his last start, a family illness. We'll see how he goes today. Giovanni Gallardo against the Chicago Cubs. The Brewers go for the sweep. Final game of the homestand coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers opening day starter, Giovanni Gallardo, and he has presumed as the ace of this ball club. Gallardo winning his last 4 games. He has been very good here at Miller Park. Looking for his 8th win at this ballpark and his 13th win overall. It's the Brewers and the Cubs today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Cubs managed by Dale Swaim, the former Brewer.
And a rough year for the Chicago Cubs. 47 and 75. They have really had their troubles away from Wrigley Field. Here is Dale Swain's batting order. DeJesus, Valbuena, and Castro at the top. Rizzo, LaHair, and Clevenger in the middle of the order, with Jackson, Barney, and Wood rounding it out. Cubs batting order brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. And the numbers for Yovani Gallardo.
Yeah, he's only allowed 6 runs in his last 4 starts, all wins. His 13th start career against the Chicago Cubs. He's 5-2.
Good to see Gallardo back with the ball club. Left after his last start as he deals strike 1 to get us underway. I think everybody's interested to see how he'll come back. And Ron Renicky told us that during his last start, Gallardo, who went 7 innings against the Phillies, knew that there was a family illness back home in Texas, and he was able to put that aside and pitch very well in that game. And I think Renicky and others expecting the same today from Gallardo. Gallardo did return for a bullpen session on Monday, a side session, and back in his normal rotation spot here today.
And it's awfully difficult when you're so far away from family, have issues like that. He did pretty well in his last start, knowing everything that's going on back in Texas. And at least he's able to get back there. Perhaps he feels a lot better about things.
2 balls and a strike on DeJesus. Back in the leadoff spot for the Cubs. A .269 hitter coming in. Has 5 home runs, 37 driven in, and you see 1 hit in this series. Does have a couple of RBIs. Brewers winning the first 2 games. Last night, a final of 5-2 as DeJesus rips that one into deep right center. And that one is up and out of here. A home run for DeJesus. Just his 6th of the year. But he gives the Cubs the early lead today, 1-0.
Yeah, Yovani falling behind. He didn't really have much of a problem with that in his previous 4 starts. Fastball up out over the plate. DeJesus able to give that one a ride. A pretty good swing. And the Cubs with an early lead. Out of here to right center.
6th homer, 38th run batted in for DeJesus. Had a grand slam here at Miller Park earlier this year as Gallardo faces Luis Valbuena. Well, the Brewers pitching held the Cubs to just 4 hits last night. But the Cubs actually out-hit the Brewers last night. Brewers scored 5 runs on just 3 hits in last night's game.
Yeah, Cub pitching hit 3 batters and walked 6 others. 3 of those walks came around to score. Actually, 4 of the walks came around to score and a hit batter.
The Brewers got their hits when they needed them. All 3 hits produced runs for the Brewers in yesterday's victory. Marco Estrada winning for the first time this year. And John Axford picked up the save. He got the final out for his 19th save. If you're just picking us up, the Brewers did make a transaction today. Randy Wolf released by the Brewers. And that will pave the way for these young hurlers and Sean Markham to return to the rotation. Now Sean Markham, who's been on the disabled list the last couple of months, after 3 rehab starts, he will start on Saturday.
Well, an opportunity for both the Brewers and for Randy Wolf. You know Randy Wolf's going to get picked up by somebody. He's got some years left. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
There's a strike call. Gallardo rings up Luis Valbuena for the first out. Check the defense behind Gallardo this afternoon. Braun, Gomez, and Aoki in the outfield. Ramirez, Ransom, Weeks, and Hart go around the horn. Ransom starts with Gene Segura. And Martín Maldonado does the catching. Jeff Kellogg, Vic Carapazza, Eric Cooper, and Marty Foster, the 4-man umpiring crew. Gene Segura probably not available today. A foot injury after he stepped on the foot of Carlos Marmol yesterday. Marmol's okay to pitch, But Segura was limping today, and you probably won't see him this afternoon. Cody Ransom gets the start at shortstop.
And I'll have a couple of days. The Brewers have a team day off tomorrow. And then the Brewers play 20 consecutive days. They won't have an off day for quite some time.
Gallardo quickly ahead of the count. 0-2 on Starlin Castro. And Castro takes a called strike 3. Seems like Castro's been doing a lot more guessing this time around than what we've seen of him in the past. That was a beautiful fastball right on the outside corner.
Yeah, and it was high enough, and actually had a little bit of a late movement on it. Caught plenty of the plate. And Castro's having a rough series so far. You hate to say that. You like to be able to say that when the Cubs leave. If that guy gets hot, look out.
So with 2 away, here is Anthony Rizzo, talented young first baseman, putting up big numbers in his first run in the big leagues. 2 for 6 in this series. Has a double, has driven in a run right back to the box. Gallardo knocks it down and will calmly make the play for the out. A leadoff home run by David DeJesus. Cubs lead 1-0. Brewers coming up. To make it a 5-2 homestand. Phillies and the Cubs during this 7-gamer. Here's Renicki's Piggly Wiggly batting order. Got Nori Aoki, Ricky Weeks, and Ryan Braun leading off. Middle of the order is Aramis Ramirez, Corey Hart, and Martin Maldonado. Carlos Gomez, Cody Ransom, and Giovanni Gallardo rounded out the Piggly Wiggly Brewers batting order against left-hander Travis Wood, the former Red turned Cub. And been an up and down season this year for Travis Wood.
Yeah, he's currently lost 6 in a row after winning 4 in a row. He's had a good career against the Brewers. He's 3-0. All of that coming as a Cincinnati Red.
He was part of the Sean Marshall deal that sent the talented left-handed reliever Sean Marshall to the Reds. Cubs got 3 players in return. Wood's gone back and forth between AAA and the big leagues. Had a great stretch in June and July. Facing Nori Aoki to start it. Aoki comes in batting .282 for the season. Led off yesterday, was 0 for 2, but scored a run. Scored the first Brewers run yesterday. He was hit by 2 pitches in yesterday's game, so he reached a couple of times.
And the only left-hander in the lineup for Ron Renicki here today. Wood has been very effective in his career against lefties. We'll see how Aoki is able to handle him today.
Little half swing that is going to be drop in between the 2 outfielders. Both laid out. The ball squirts free, and It'll be a double for Aoki. Jackson and DeJesus both lay out, and DeJesus checking that left hand, left wrist.
Yeah, baseball hung up a little bit, allowing Jackson and DeJesus to both get there. I'm not sure what happened, but it snuck in between both of them, and Aoki able to get into second base.
Oh wow, like a human joust.
That could have been a lot worse. I mean, if those guys dive and they go head to head, or even shoulder to shoulder, things are going to be a lot worse than they ended up being right there. Looks like Brett Jackson's going to be all right, but they were lucky.
And DeJesus dangerously close, his face dangerously close to the spike, the back foot of Jackson, who was sliding right in front of him. A couple of players avoiding disaster right there. Athletic trainers checked on DeJesus. He will remain in the game. He was checking his left hand, his throwing hand. We'll see if his throws are affected at all. So it's a leadoff double for Aoki. And Ricky Weeks at the plate, fouls one away. Very strange looking swing by Aoki. Kind of an excuse me swing, like he was playing pepper with it.
Two-strike swing, just trying to put the bat on the baseball, and he did that and was rewarded with a double. Unique ability just to make contact. Doesn't always look pretty, but at times it ends up as a base hit.
Ricky Weeks back in the 2-hole again today. .217 batting average. Has 13 home runs, 44 driven in. A chance to drive in a run here in the bottom of the first. Cubs scored one on a DeJesus home run in the top of this inning. DeJesus still checking his hand. Very fortunate to come out of that.
Yeah, both of them.
Now Ricky Weeks has put together a pretty significant streak of good hitting, and right about where his career numbers sit. He's hit .272 over his last 58 games. He was hitting .162 prior to this 58 game stretch. He's raised his average from .162 to .217. And when you have the kind of at bats that Weeks does, this is number 430. That's a pretty good feat to be able to raise your batting average that much.
Man, what you have to do is you can't look up at that scoreboard and look at the overall batting average. It's going to be impossible for Ricky to get it to where he would like it, but just try and finish strong, and that's what Ricky's been able to do.
He has Aoki at second base after the leadoff double, and Weeks takes a ball down and in. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ricky still leads the team in walks with 59. And so to go along with that .217 batting average, an on base percentage of .324.
Travis Wood, a guy that is not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. Matter of fact, none of the 3 starting pitchers for the Cubs barely get over 90 miles an hour. That's a big departure from what the Brewers are used to seeing over the years from the Cubs, with Zambrano and Dempster. You had some margin making starts. Matt Garza, these guys all could get it up there in the mid-90s. Got to be patient with these guys. Travis Wood relies on command, keeping that changeup down in the strike zone. He'll cut it, he'll sink it. Once in a while, it's going to throw a curveball. Very similar to the other 2 starters for the Cubs.
Long battle between Weeks and Wood. This is pitch number 9. And that one's in there. Called strike 3. Travis Wood rings up Ricky Weeks. Cubs defense brought to you by Menards. David DeJesus, Brett Jackson, and Brian LaHare in the outfield. LaHare making his first start. Valbuena, his first start at third base. You got Castro and Barney up the middle with Rizzo at first. Stu Clevenger doing the catching today. And seeing Luis Valbuena make his first start. Saw him appear as a pinch hitter yesterday. Starting for Josh Vitters. Here's Ryan Braun now. One gone, runner at second, bottom of the first inning. And Braun pulls one foul.
A Gale Club souvenir. You don't get many of those.
Especially with a right-handed batter at the plate. One of the great areas to hang out and watch a ball game, the Gale Club.
That is.
Braun, the National League leader in home runs to start play today with 33. And he's quickly down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, although Travis Wood doesn't throw very hard, he relies a lot on the fastball. Back-to-back fastballs to Braun, challenging the Brewers slugger.
Braun has 2 hits in the series. Brian is second in the league in RBIs. He trails Carlos Beltran by 2. Beltran with 85 for the Cardinals this year. And he drives that one to right field. That is over the head of LaHare. And Aoki will be waved home. Braun into second base. It's an RBI double. And the Brewers have tied it up here in the first inning.
Well, one too many fastballs to Ryan Braun. RBI number 84. And a little inexperience in the outfield. Brian LaHare, not sure he would be able to make the catch anyway, but he just froze on that line drive. It sailed way over his head. Not a very good 0-2 pitch to Ryan Braun. Braun able to spank it over the head of LaHare and right. And Aoki scores. So back-to-back doubles. I should say 2 doubles in the inning, and the Brewers tie it up.
And Ryan Braun safe at second, safe and secure at New York Life. Here is Aramis Ramirez now, the former Cub. Ramirez with 17 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Aramis is the National League leader in doubles. Has 40 doubles this season. He's ahead of Joey Votto. Votto's been on the disabled list since the All-Star break. Pops him up. Darwin Barney out in the grass makes a catch for the second out. So 2 gone with Braun at second. And it'll be Corey Hart. Hart with 3 runs batted in for the series. They have come at crucial times in the ball game. Hart's RBI yesterday tied the score, had an infield hit, had the first Brewers hit yesterday, and drove in 2 RBIs in the opener on Monday with the bases loaded. That gave the Brewers the lead, and they would not look back. That was part of an 8-run 5th inning on Monday. Corey Hart has a grand slam on this homestand as well against Philadelphia. That proved to be a game winner. His hits have been timely on this homestand.
And 65 RBIs for Corey. He's on pace for perhaps 85 to 90. If he gets hot, 20 RBIs. He gets them in bunches, though. He's had a good homestand driving in runs.
Now Hart with 7 runs batted in on the homestand. This is the 7th game. Did have 1 day off. He took Sunday off. And 6 for 19 at the plate on the homestand. One of those 6 hits, a home run, a grand slam against the Phillies. He's Got a 7-game hit streak going, trying to extend it here this afternoon. 2 balls and a strike. And it goes to 2-2. Hart's final year of his contract is next year, and he has already issued the creed that he would like to stay a Brewer. He'd like to sign an extension. Been talking about that for a few weeks now. He has really enjoyed the position of first base, more so than I think he ever thought he would, and he has excelled at it, which helps.
Well, he's only increased his value to the Brewers by showing that he can play first base. Play the outfield, play him at first base, and he can hit, driving runs.
Hart breaks his bat, and that is going to fall fair just inside the line. And it's going to be another double. An RBI double for Corey Hart gives the Brewers a 2-1 lead in the first.
And they just continue to rack up the extra base hits to the Milwaukee Brewers. 3 of them in the inning. And Corey gets jammed on the inside corner. That cut fastball by Travis Wood. He is really pounding that inside corner the first time through this lineup. And Corey breaks his bat in half, but it died happy. A double and an RBI.
8-game hitting streak for Corey Hart. The ball and the bat head both ended up in fair territory. And a run producer for Hart, number 66. So the Brewers get him back quickly. They take the lead in this first inning. Here is Maldonado now, getting his first start of the series. Maldonado was behind the plate for Gallardo's game against the Phillies, that victory against Philadelphia.
Day game after a night game. Jonathan Lucroy sits this one out after catching 4 consecutive games. It's the longest stretch he's gone since returning from the disabled list.
Lucroy has really been hot at the plate. Had a 2-home-run game on Monday. Some big RBIs last night as well. There's Jonathan Lucroy.
Says he's starting to get that comfort zone at home plate. It was a struggle for him for a while. You would expect that after missing 2 months.
Maldonado strikes out. The inning is over, but the Brewers come up with a pair. 3 doubles in the inning. RBIs from Braun and Hart, and it's 2-1 Milwaukee. Cubs got a run on the first. Brew Crew answering in the bottom of the first and giving Gallardo the lead against the Cubs. His last 8 starts against Chicago, a 4-1 record. Look at the ERA. It is stellar, and a ton of strikeouts against the Chicago Cubs going back the last 3 seasons.
And he's had very good success against every team in the Central except for one, the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, you look at his numbers against every other team in the Central Division. I mean, they just jump out at you.
He's always been a terrific matchup against the Pirates.
Houston.
Certainly Houston won more games against the Astros than any other opponent.
Cincinnati, not too bad.
And this current stretch for Gallardo, he's won 4 straight decisions, and twice he's beaten the Astros. Gallardo pitched against the Cubs earlier this year back in June. He struggled that day, although he struck out 10 batters. He took a loss and gave up 5 earned runs in 6 innings. He picked up a victory against the Cubs in April, 7 strong with 1 earned run allowed. That was his second start of the season. He's been very consistent, giving Ron Renicky consistent innings. He's gone at least 7 in his last 4 starts.
And you go back to the beginning of May, there's only been 2 starts, and they were back-to-back losses at Cincinnati and here at Washington, or against Washington, that he was not able to get 6 innings, 5 2/3 and 5 innings. Other than that, he has really done a good job of eating innings, as you mentioned, for the Brewers. Not missing starts. You can rely on him every 5th day.
2 balls, 2 strikes on LaHare. It's been a strange season for Brian LaHare. He was an all-star this year for the Cubs, off to a great start. But once Anthony Rizzo arrived, playing time cut short. LaHare moved to the outfield. He's hitting just .186 since June 6th as he sends one to right. Aoki is there for the first out. Well, the transaction today, Randy Wolf was released in his 3rd year with the Brewers, and he will be eligible to sign with any other team at this point. And you figure Wolf will certainly be on the list for contenders to look at. I could easily see him with a contender. The Brewers did not replace Wolf with a pitcher, rather a position player. Jeff Bianchi called up from AAA. Bianchi had a 4-hit night last night, and he is back with the Brewers for the 3rd go-round. Jeff Bianchi. So now Ron Renicky has a 5-man bench.
First time in a long time. I know that he's happy about that. More flexibility in pinch hitting early in the ball game. But I think it's a good opportunity for Randy Wolf. The Brewers, I think, doing him a favor, doing it right now, allowing him an opportunity to hook on with the contender. I think somebody's going to pick him up very quickly. And if he's on a roster before September 1st, he's eligible for the postseason. And then Brewers want to see their young pitchers, and Randy Wolf certainly was not in the plans for next year.
Well, Randy actually worked out with the ball club today. Even after the news of his release, he threw off flat ground, so he's trying to keep himself in shape and ready to go. And he knows the situation. I think Randy Wolf now has that opportunity. He was a terrific guy to be around, always a stand-up player and a pro's pro, Randy Wolf. And he will certainly be missed. Had a rough season this year on the mound, but he was definitely a guy that young pitchers looked up to, and as far as work ethic and getting ready for every start.
Yeah, he took accountability for his performances too. I love when he's asked about his starts after a rough one. He says, "I stunk. Pure and simple. I wasn't very good." Not many guys are going to say that. But just like Yvonne Gallardo, you can count on Randy Wolf taking the mound every 5 days. He did that for his entire 3 years with the Brewers.
Well, he had some great moments as a Brewer pitcher. Had a terrific year last year, Randy Wolf. And of course, he beat the Cardinals in St. Louis in the NLCS last season. And those are the kind of starts and the kind of moments that are going to resonate with general managers right now of teams that are in contention. And certainly Randy Wolf has a golden opportunity to get a fresh start and pick up with somebody else. There is news today out of the American League West. The Oakland Athletics announcing that Bartolo Colon will serve a 50-game suspension, violating baseball's drug policy. Colon was in their rotation, and who knows, that would be a great spot for Randy Wolf. Bartolo Colon pitching very well, but not on his own accord this year, and he'll be hit with a 50-game suspension. The second one in the last 2 weeks. Melky Cabrera of the Giants,
and just like Cabrera, admitting it right away, and he's going to start a suspension.
That would be interesting. You know, Randy Wolf certainly has a supporter in George Kataras, who is the Oakland Athletics backup catcher, traded from the Brewers. Those two are very close, and George was Randy's personal catcher here in Milwaukee. So we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. There's a strike to Brett Jackson. 2-2 on the young center fielder. Cubs have a runner at first with one away. And Jackson fouls it back. Sean Markham will go into the rotation beginning Saturday. He'll just jump right into the spot vacated by Randy Wolf. So the Brewers will not be going to a 6-man rotation. They'll have a 5-man rotation that will still include Mike Fiers and Mark Rogers. Line shot right to Hart in the shadow. He makes the catch, steps on the bag for the double play. Jackson hit it like a rope, but Corey Hart right there for it. The Milwaukee Brewers able to win the game by a 5-2 final score, but they only had 3 hits in last night's game. All of the hits produced runs. It started with Hart, then Lucroy, and then Carlos Gomez, who played at the 5th run in the 8th inning.
Yep, 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position and 4 RBIs. 3 doubles in the first inning account for 2 runs. Aoki, Ryan Braun, and Corey Hart. 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the first inning here today.
Already equaling the hit output from yesterday. 3 doubles in the first inning. 2-1 Brewers as we head to the bottom of the second. Carlos Gomez leading off. Shadows start to become a factor about this time of the day for the the rest of this game as those shadows from the roof line above the first base grandstand start to creep out over home plate to the pitcher's mound.
As we head toward fall, those shadows change a bit. Those shadows pop up a little bit earlier.
Broken bat right to Castro for the out. Gomez is Travis Wood's first out of the second inning.
He's been getting into some lumber, hasn't he? Travis Wood likes to pitch inside. And they say you live by the sword, die by the sword. There's that cut fastball. Cut fastball, slider, whatever you want to call it. And Carlos Gomez gets jammed, sounded like a broken bat.
That was a great look at how you throw a cut fastball. We talk a lot about the cut fastball, and we saw it last night from Russin, the Cubs starter. Randy Wolf throws a cut fastball. As Cody Ransom, wasting no time, jumps on the first pitch and singles into left center field. A cut fastball, your hand comes across the baseball just off center, and that's where the movement comes from.
And it doesn't have that slider spin, so hitters don't pick it up as early. That one up and out over the plate, not where he wanted it, and Cody Ransom able to get a base hit. It's been a while since Ransom's played short. Made his start on his homestand at second base.
Yeah, that was Sunday for Ricky Weeks. He started at third base the next day and getting a start at shortstop here today. Gene Segura finished the game last night, but his foot, ankle still giving him trouble today. He was limping noticeably prior to the ball game. And he'll get the day off most likely. A one-out single for Ransom. Gallardo is up there trying to bunt him over. Wood goes to second base and unable to turn it. Cody Ransom taking out Starlin Castro as Gallardo hustles down the line.
And that's a pretty good play by Castro to get that ball off and on its way to first base. Went Ransom right on top of him, and just as Castro let it go, Ransom was there and pretty close to a double play. Giovanni Gallardo has to run hard down the line. Check this out. That's a heck of a throw by Castro. And a good play over there by Rizzo to keep Yo at first base. That's a good way to blow out a groin.
Castro fortunate not to come out of that with an injury. He stood right in there.
It's a great throw, though.
It's such a strong arm. It's the second out of the inning. And a clean slide by Ransom to break up the double play.
A lot of guys throw that ball in the seats. You know, getting hit like that at that point.
Aoki back up. A little half swing double in the first inning, scored the first run. '25-year-old Travis Wood. He is out of the Cliff Lee camp, literally. Two guys from Arkansas, Cliff Lee and Travis Wood. They trained together in the offseason. And he very much patterns his game after Cliff Lee. Aoki pulls one to first. Rizzo will go to the bag to end the inning. A scoreless frame for Wood. 2-1 Brewers. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine.
Brewers going for the sweep of the Cubbies. They lead it 2-1 top three. Giovanni Gallardo going for his 13th win today. He'll have possibly as many as 8 starts left after today and recognizes he could put together a special year. Yo told me the magic number for any starting pitcher is 20 wins. Yo knows he may not get to 20, but he told me he feels like he's throwing very well, wants to finish strong, could have a very nice season, guys.
Well, he was a 17-game winner last year. That was a career best. Has 12 wins this year. He's won his last 4. And Gallardo's getting stronger as the season goes, and I think that's what's so encouraging about Giovanni. He is so strong. Aside from being gifted athletically, Gallardo has really proven to be a workhorse starting pitcher in the big leagues.
Yeah, since the beginning of the 2009 season, Giovanni's 43-25.
Ransom bobbles a routine ground ball off the bat of Darwin Barney. The normally sure-handed Cody Ransom committing an error. Don't see that very often from Ransom.
Fastball right down the middle. And certainly a ball that has got to be played right up the glove.
Well, now the pitcher, Travis Wood, a very good hitting pitcher. Wood has a .219 batting average, 7 hits and 32 at-bats. Throws left-handed, bats right-handed, which is why you see him wear that big brace on his pitching elbow.
They hang that pitching elbow out over the plate. That wouldn't be good to get hit. You don't see that very often. Left-handed throwers batting right-handed.
It's like Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Ryan Ludwig. Now Wood's very fast as well. I mean, he is so similar to Cliff Lee in every facet of the game. He obviously does not have the pitching accomplishments of Cliff Lee, but he's a good athlete, a good hitter. He runs well, fields his position well. If you're going to pattern your game after someone, that would be a pretty good bet for a left-handed pitcher.
He tries to pitch the same kind of a game too. I mean, pretty much throws the same type of pitches, just doesn't have the location that Cliff Lee has. Not many do.
Swinging away, chance for 2 here. Ramirez to second, Weeks to first, and it's not in time. Wood beats it out.
That's that speed you're talking about. A lot of pitchers are going to get doubled up on that. Man, just like Starlin Castro, Ricky Weeks hangs right in there. Darwin Barney coming in hot, and Ricky able to get the throw off, but not able to get much on it. And a good clean slide, trying to break up that double play is Darwin Barney. Good job jumping out of the way. Because he had to jump like that, he couldn't get much on the throw.
That pitcher running hard. So the first out, and back to the top of the order, David DeJesus. He homered his first time up, led off the game with a long ball. Kind of anxious to see how he swings the bat here. Remember, he was in a collision in the outfield in the bottom of the first inning and was messing with his hand.
And that's his top hand on the bat. You're having a tough time with your top hand. Ordinarily, fastballs in on you become difficult. Top hand really takes over on a fastball in. You really have to have a strong, dominant right hand or top hand to be able to drive that bat through the strike zone on a pitch in on you. If he's got any kind of a problem with that hand, that's going to be a pitch that's going to give him some problems.
He's wearing that protective pad on his right thumb, or his left thumb, I should say, which is his throwing hand. Popped his 6th home run of the season in the first inning. Now DeJesus with that pad on that thumb prior to the collision, so that's something that he sticks with.
Right there, that's who, a lot of times you get a bone bruise in that area between the thumb and the forefinger.
Two balls, 2 strikes on David DeJesus, the former Oakland Athletic. Had some time with the Kansas City Royals as well. He's another tough guy to double up. Runs extremely well. We'll try it though. Ransom, easy as it gets. 6-3 double play. Giovanni Gallardo picks up the Ransom error in a 3-batter inning in the 3rd.
Bottom of the 3rd, time for the pulse of social media right now with Sophia Minard. And we've been doing the rivalry theme between the Cubs and the Brewers on this whole series. We have Brewer fans sitting behind us right next to Cub fans, and that's how it works when these two teams get together.
Craig, we've had a lot of fun talking about this rivalry, and fans in the stands here, they may exchange some friendly banter back and forth. We've had great conversation with fans here. And today we want to ask Brewers fans to pick your poison. Would you rather go to a game with a Cubs fan, or would you rather see the Cardinals win another World Series? And you can tweet us at FS Wisconsin with the hashtag rivalry. BA and Rock will be back in the 7th with what the fans think.
That's great.
That's a tough one. That's kind of like, peeling the Band-Aid off quickly, ripping it off.
Yeah, Sophia talking about some friendly banter between Brewers fans and Cubs fans back not too long ago. They're exchanging blows in the seats.
No question.
Security very busy at both Wrigley Field and Miller Park when these two teams get together.
Remember, keep it nice for Sophia at FS Wisconsin. She's maybe drawing the worst in Brewers fans with those two.
Bunch of uppercuts throughout the history of these two teams.
Here's Ricky Weeks to start it off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First ball swinging. LaHare's got a long way to go. And he makes a catch for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Our Carsuit.com email the booth question. How much do the first wins for Rogers and Estrada boost their confidence? Jim in La Crosse wants to know. First major league win for Mark Rogers. Estrada, his first win of the season last night.
It took Marco Estrada all season to pick up that first win. Mark Rogers, 5 starts. And Rogers could conceivably have, 2-3 wins right now. And Marco Estrada certainly pitched well enough to pick up a few, but just a sense of satisfaction. I don't know about confidence. I think these guys are confident anyway.
Ryan Braun swings at the first pitch. Slightly jammed, and there is out number 2.
How about a sigh of relief that they feel when they pick up that first win?
Probably different for Marco Estrada. He's been in the rotation. He's had his moments. Matter of fact, his last win prior to last night was just about 1 calendar year from today. It was August 23rd of 2011 when he picked up his first win, or his last win, I should say. I think the greater satisfaction is knowing that they both will continue in the starting rotation. When you're pitching for your job and you're trying to maintain a position on a major league roster and in a starting rotation, I think that's really what it boils down to. I mean, the wins are more symbolic at this point, especially for Rogers.
Yeah, but for a player, a pitcher, regardless of your position player, if they decide to sit you on the bench, bring up young kids that perhaps may be vying to take your job. I mean, that's maddening for a guy like Rogers. And Mike fires Estrada if the Brewers, in fact, decide to shut those guys down. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Brewers elect to proceed now that Randy Wolf is gone. Somebody's going to have to pick up innings in September.
Well, the Brewers are contemplating a line change of starting pitching as Ramirez strikes out, and a very quick inning for Travis Wood. Our keys of the game brought to you by GMC. It was a leadoff home run by David DeJesus to give the Cubs the early lead. And the Brewers respond quickly. 3 doubles in the first inning. Ryan Braun with an RBI double, then Corey Hart with an RBI double as well. A broken bat gives the Brewers the lead, and that's where we sit. 2-1. 3 innings down here at Miller Park. A reminder that this MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Summer's winding down. School has started for some, will start for most in Wisconsin at the beginning of September. I believe September 4th is the start date for just about everybody.
You can feel it in the air in the evening, can't you? You know, summer's kind of winding down, as you talk about, getting darker a lot earlier. Went quick, didn't it? Really did.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah, it's only 40 games remaining.
It was a blazing hot summer too. One of the hottest that I remember around here.
Luis Valbuena leading off for the Cubs. The Brewers aren't going to be around much for the next month as the season winds down. A lot of road games coming up for Milwaukee. Bouncing ball back to Gallardo. Easy toss to Hart. Valbuena retired. AT&T trivia question this afternoon. Who are the 3 players in Brewers history to have at least 2 seasons with 40 doubles? So you've got 3 players in the history of the franchise that have hit the 40 double mark twice. Ramos Ramirez leads the league with 40 doubles. He's already there. He's got a chance at a franchise record.
Well, I know Lyle Overbay has the record. Yount's got to be one of them, I would think.
And Overbay would be a good guess. He was a doubles machine. County Stadium a little more conducive to doubles than home runs as compared to Miller Park. And you don't see the big home run hitters on that list like Braun, Fielder, because they're going out of the ballpark, the big home run years.
Yeah. County Stadium, particularly during a night game, a lot of home runs that just barely make it out of this ballpark would be doubles.
2-1 to Castro, and he whistles one to right. Aoki coming in, can't get it, but able to play it on a hop. Well, Nori was so deep in right field.
He always plays deep for right-handed and left-handed batters, and it cost him that time. But he did make a nice play, keeping it in the glove, kept it in front of him. Castro hits his ball right on the nose into right field, and off the bat, it looked as though Aoki would be able to make the catch, but he was playing so deep that he's not even close. No, he's not all that comfortable in going back on a baseball. That's why he plays deep.
So that's a base hit for Castro. That's the second Cubs hit. First one was a home run to Jesus in the first inning. And Castro is aboard a stolen base threat with Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Rizzo with 9 home runs in just 191 big league at bats.
Yeah, Starlin Castro, one of the few Cubs that will try and steal a base. They don't run much, but this guy will. He's got 20. 20 for 30. Gets thrown out a lot.
Into left field, a base hit. Rizzo using the opposite field, and back-to-back singles for the Cubs.
Yeah, for Monday home games, fans can purchase Terrace Reserve seats for just $8. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit Brewers.com/highlife. Offer excludes marquee games. Yeah, good pitch by Gallardo that time to get in on the hands of Rizzo, but he's able to fight it off into left. Good looking hitter, Anthony Rizzo. Uses left field very well.
And the 2 anchors of this Cubs rebuild, Starlin Castro and Anthony Rizzo, both with singles in this 4th inning. Gallardo with 2 on, facing Brian LaHair, an all-star for the Cubs this year. A good hook in there for a strike. Cubs got a run in the first. Brewers with 2 in the bottom of the first. RBIs from Braun and Hart. Another good breaking ball, and it's quickly 0-2 on Brian LaHair.
Yeah, that's the pitch that Yovani Gallardo had going for him pretty well against the Phillies in his last start. Ron Renneke saying it was the best curveball he had all year.
Gallardo has won his last 4. Now 12-8 for the season. He struck out 9 Phillies his last time out. 0-2 pitch. LaHair didn't chase the fastball. Got him. Gallardo strikes him out, went back to the high fastball, and picks up his 3rd K.
This pitch way out of the strike zone. Up around the letters, and LaHair swings right through it. From what we've seen from LaHair early in the season, likes the ball down. Down out over the plate. Got a lot of power in that direction out in the left center. It's a tough time handling that fastball in.
So now 2 outs with 2 runners on. Steve Clevenger, the Cubs catcher, at the plate.
Another guy that uses left field very well. This guy was red hot for the Cubs early in the year, but injuries have really kept him off the field quite a bit this year.
Pulls one to first. Hart is there, and Gallardo covers the bag to end the inning. So Yovani strands a couple of Cubs in the 4th. Brewers coming up.
In the community, and the Brewers Community Foundation and Forest County Potawatomi Foundation present a 9th annual special event. It's an evening with Hank Aaron, August 29th at the Nice Club at Miller Park. Everybody who attends enjoys a photo session with Hammer and Hank, silent auction, sit-down dinner. Every guest gets an autographed Hank Aaron Sports Illustrated cover. Bob Costas will interview Aaron. All the proceeds benefiting the Hank Aaron Chasing the Dream Foundation. That helps kids in the Milwaukee area. Brewers.com for ticket information. Meredith.Malone at Brewers.com. A great night with Hammer and Hank, guys.
That sounds like a great night. And I'm glad we're putting Bob Costas to work that week. Because not only will he be hosting this engagement with Hank Aaron, but he'll be the MC of the Bob Uecker statue unveiling ceremony.
Yeah, because Bob
time he did something.
Yeah, because Bob Costas never has anything to do, does he? Did a heck of a job on the Olympics again.
Corey Hart down the right field line. LaHair's got a long way to go. That will be foul. Just missed the line.
That's going to be a nice event.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get a Hank Aaron and
2 good events in 3 days here at Miller Park. The Bob Uecker statue dedication on the 31st.
Bob Uecker has a way of drawing a crowd, an A-list crowd, if you know what I mean. And we will be televising that event, the Bob Uecker statue ceremony, right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. That'll be a lot of fun. Craig Kashan will anchor our coverage.
And for no other reason just to hear Bob Uecker give a speech.
Yep.
Using no notes.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Corey Hart, and that one's ripped into left field, down for a hit. That will go to the wall. And Corey Hart keeps racking up the extra bases. That is another double for him, his second. Brewers occupied 3 of the top 4 spots in the National League in extra base hits. Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart.
Yeah, still another one. They're first in home runs, and get this, they're 7th in doubles. I would have thought they'd have been higher, but 7th in doubles. We talk about first in home runs, and Corey Hart with another. Yeah, Ramirez, Braun, and Hart all in the top 4 in extra base hits in the National League. Ramirez is first.
Hart now with 55 extra base hits. That is 4th behind Ryan Braun. Jay Bruce is 2nd in the league in that category of the Reds. Martin Maldonado with Hart at second base. Down the right field line, LaHair on the run toward the track, and he makes a catch. And Hart will advance. Maldonado is out, but he does advance Corey Hart to third base. Back to our AT&T trivia question. The only 3 players in Brewers history to have at least 2 seasons with 40 doubles. And how about this? Robin Yount, Jeff Cirillo, and Jeff Jenkins.
Yeah, Rillo, yeah, he had a lot of doubles. Jeff Cirillo is just a good hitter. I mean, has a career 300 batting average as a Brewer. And Jeff Jenkins, nobody had much more power than he did back in those days. Made the transformation from County Stadium to Miller Park.
Carlos Gomez with 1 away. Cubs have their infield in. 2-1 Brewers here in the bottom of the 4th. And a big swing and a miss by Gomez. Gomez had an RBI single yesterday. Had a broken bat liner to Castro at short his first time up. And he strikes out. Travis Wood just kept elevating the fastball, and down goes Gomez.
Pepsi invites Brewers fans to live for now and soak up all the fun at Miller Park on Labor Day weekend with a special back-to-school offer for the games against the Pirates. Enjoy $10 and $20 tickets starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. Visit brewers.com/Pepsi for details.
Well, 2 outs now, and it'll be up to Cody Ransom. It's imperative to make contact with a runner at third. A lot of ways to score a run. Gomez strikes out, and now the Cubs infielders can back up at regular depth. Ransom singled his last time up. He's down on the count 0-2. Wood seeing if Ransom would bite on that high fastball.
You never see, 20 years ago, a catcher holding a target like that for a guy that throws 88 miles an hour. Commonplace these days.
And Wood drops one in for a strike. Cody Ransom is gone. Back-to-back strikeouts with a runner at third and one out.
A 2-1 lead over the Cubs, looking for a sweep. And today's time of the game winner is Eagle Pass Saloon in Monticello, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
And it's time now to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Travis Wood and Giovanni Gallardo both in the 90s with their fastballs. Wood at 91, Gallardo topping out at 94. He hit 94 and a strikeout of Brian Lahair last inning. Gallardo's given up 3 hits, just 1 run, that leadoff home run by DeJesus as he starts his 5th inning of work. Yeah, having some fun here.
Oh.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie.
Oh, you can't do that.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that one didn't go down into the bullpen intact, if you know what I mean.
Terrible waste of a good drink.
Brett Jackson leads off for the Cubs, young center fielder. He hit a bullet in the 2nd inning, lined out, and it turned into a double play. Corey Hart made the catch, stepped on the bag to end the inning in the 2nd. Jackson, in his first year in the big leagues, has struggled with the strikeouts at this point. That's something the Cubs feel like he'll be able to correct. He didn't show big strikeout numbers in the minor leagues. But sometimes those big league pitches can be a little overwhelming, and he will head to the dugout and about face. Gallardo strikes him out, number 4 for Giovanni Gallardo.
Yeah, a lot of taking of strikes for a lot of these young players for the Cubs. Curveball in the outside corner. Giovanni able to backdoor that pit. Looked like he got a benefit of a wide strike right there from Jeff Kellogg, but the reaction of Brett Jackson, he thought it was a strike.
It's 27 strikeouts in 17 games for Jackson, as Gallardo deals Darwin Barney strike 1. The Brewers are on a great pace here to perhaps set a major league record for strikeouts in a season as a team. Right now the Brewers are averaging 8.5 strikeouts a game. They're going to shatter the franchise record. The Chicago Cubs have the team record for strikeouts back in the Kerry Wood era. 1,404 strikeouts. The 2003 Chicago Cubs. That is the record for the most strikeouts in a major league season by a team.
Yeah, right now the Brewers at 1,046 strikeouts, including the 4 today by Gallardo. We're going to have to do a lot of striking out of batters from here till the end of the season.
They get one step closer. That is number 5 for Gallardo. A reminder to get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. This Friday at 7 p.m. you can tune into Fox Sports Wisconsin Plus when Milwaukee Riverside takes on Catholic Memorial. You can go to foxsportswisconsin.com, click on the Prep Zone tab to watch Sun Prairie and Verona. For more information, schedules, you can go to foxsportswisconsin.com. There's also a Marquette, Wisconsin Lutheran game available. Cubs pitcher Travis Wood at the plate. So the Brewers are averaging 8.5 strikeouts a game. They would have to average slightly better than 9 strikeouts a game for the remaining 40 games to set the record.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Brewers had 12 strikeouts yesterday. There are some strikeout pitchers now in the picture for the Brewers, with the hard-throwing Mark Rogers essentially replacing Greinke as the strikeout threat. And how about Gallardo on the strikeout theme? He punches out the side. .com/fan guide to register for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 to a 2012 MLB World Series game, presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. Back at Miller Park, 2-1. The Brewers have the lead, and a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Giovanni Gallardo striking out the side. 3 called strike threes in the top of the 5th inning, and it'll be Gallardo to lead off here in the bottom of the 5th. Gallardo now with 6 strikeouts and a season of strikeouts for the Brewer pitching staff. Travis Wood gave up the 3 doubles in the first inning. 2 of those doubles producing runs. Braun and Hart with the RBIs. But has settled down since. He's been tough as Gallardo sends one right center. Long run for Jackson, and he'll run it down. Boy, this guy has showed well in the outfield. He can really play.
He's going to have to hit though. He's off to a very slow start with the bat, but he can close some ground out there, cut off those gaps pretty well. He's playing relatively shallow with the pitcher at the plate, able to angle back and his good speed, able to grab it about midway on that warning track. Well, Giovanni gives this one a pretty good ride out into the opposite field.
Jackson has an easy gait about him, the way he goes after fly balls. It reminds me a lot of Mike Cameron. You know, Cameron never made the highlight reels for these great catches because he always did the work early. He got great jumps and he was always in a perfect position to make the catch. Not to say he couldn't make the highlight reel type catch, but when a lot of guys are laying out or sliding for catches, Cameron would always just run under him.
Sometimes, you know, catches like that, the great catches that you see on the highlights are because of bad breaks, bad positioning, bad jumps, those types of things. Not always, but sometimes. Well, yeah, you never used to see that with Mike Cameron. Oh, never took a false step. He's got a good jump on the baseball. That takes time. You know, not often you see a kid as young as Jackson be able to get such a good jump on a baseball. That's just instinctive. It's something that you really can't teach.
He's been impressive defensively. Count is even on Nori Aoki. Batting for the 3rd time against Wood. Had a double his first time up. He doubled and scored in the first inning. Travis Wood has had his moments this year. He has numbers that wouldn't tell you he's been a top pitcher in spurts. He's 4-9 with a 4.83 ERA. He's been up and down between AAA and the big leagues. But there was a stretch of games from June on into July, early June into July, where he was as good as there was going in the big leagues.
He won 4 in a row. And just after that 4-game winning streak, he lost 6 straight. He's in the middle of that 6-game losing streak right now.
His last win came on the 6th of July against the New York Mets. Aoki into deep right center. Jackson with his glasses on makes the catch for the out. 2 outs. Time now for our AT&T Uverse reverse replay. Take you back to the Brewer first inning. Started with a little half swing double by Nori Aoki. Ryan Braun then doubled over the head of Maher in right field. That drove in Aoki for the first run. That tied it, and then Corey Hart broke his back. It was a double just inside the line. It plated Ryan Braun. And you think about those 3 hits for the Brewers in that inning. And on another day, maybe Travis Wood is through that inning unscathed. Not the case today.
No.
Weeks pops it up. Maher wants this one. And that's that. The Brewers go quickly and quietly in the 5th. Back at Miller Park on a beautiful day for baseball. Wednesday afternoon, a matinee here. The Brewers and the Cubs wrapping up this 7-game homestand. And the Brewers trying to make it a 5-2 homestand with a victory today. Brewers will take tomorrow off and then head out on the road. Pittsburgh and then Chicago. That'll be a 7-game road trip coming up. Gallardo has been impressive, and he's coming off his most impressive inning. 3 up, 3 down with 3 strikeouts, and all 3 Ks the backwards variety, the called strike threes. Back to the top of the order. David DeJesus will lead off. Valbuena to follow, then Starlin Castro. Bouncing ball to Corey Hart. 1 away for Gallardo. After almost 3 seasons with the Brewers, starting pitcher Randy Wolf was released today. Ryan Karchi's coverage on the reaction from Miller Park at foxsportswisconsin.com. Here's Luis Valbuena now with 1 away. If you're just joining us, the Brewers releasing Randy Wolf and adding Jeff Bianchi to the active roster. Bianchi played last night for the Nashville Sounds, had a 4-hit game last night.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well down in the minor leagues. Still looking for his first major league hit this year.
That game was in Omaha. How fast can you get from Omaha to Milwaukee? A lot faster than you can go from Milwaukee to Omaha.
Right. That's right. Yeah, you figure out a way to get to the big leagues very quickly. Just the opposite when you're heading down as opposed to coming up.
Nashville won last night 7-0, and it was Willie Peralta who pitched well again. Peralta went 5 shutout innings. He struck out 8 in his 5 innings in that Nashville win. Little tapper to Gallardo. He's had a few of those today. He's had the Cubs off balance all afternoon. 2 outs.
Yeah, 3 of them. And 3 comebackers. Giovanni throwing the ball extremely well after giving up that leadoff home run by David DeJesus in the first inning. Pitch count's in pretty good shape.
So 2 away for Starlin Castro. Castro has the hardest hit ball of the game, he and DeJesus. DeJesus went deep in the first inning. Castro ripped one to right his last time up. Gallardo's given up just 3 hits. Some questions coming in. What Giovanni Gallardo's mental state would be. He left the ball club after his last start on Friday, and he went home back to Fort Worth, Texas, to be with his family. A family illness. That's about all Gallardo said about it, or the Brewers released about it. He went back to Texas. He returned Monday for his side session and back in the rotation today.
Man, tough kid. I mean, he's one of those guys that can, put everything else aside when he's out on that mound. Tough to do, and it involves family, though.
2-2. Gallardo with a fastball. One thing we saw from Gallardo in his last start against the Phillies, he was able to throw some pretty good changeups in that game. That's a pitch that has been an on-off pitch for Gallardo, mostly off since his first couple of years in the big leagues. But we were talking about at the time, and it does bear repeating, that if you add a changeup back in Gallardo's repertoire, he's always trying to get the feel back for that changeup. You start talking about a guy who could potentially win a Cy Young award. That one didn't miss by much.
Yeah, last two pitches didn't miss by much.
Castro draws the walk.
These Cubs, they take a lot of close pitches. They've been rung up 5 times on called strikes tonight. 5 of the 6 strikeouts, and that one didn't miss by much. Well, taking that pitch.
Great look at the 2-seam fastball of Giovanni Gallardo.
Yep, misses in the outside corner. Good call by the home plate umpire.
Maldonado has his way of making a lot of borderline pitches look like strikes. He's very solid defensively back there, the way he catches pitches. And he snaps a throw off to first. Back is Castro.
The best time to do it when you have a left-handed batter up there. The base runner, when he takes his lead, can't see you real good. Throw that ball behind him. A lot of times you're going to catch him napping. And I think the word's out on Maldonado. Scouting report is don't get too big of a lead over there at first base. He'll pick you off. Or at least he's going to try.
Tough hitter at the plate, Anthony Rizzo. He fouls one off his foot. 0-2 the count on Rizzo. Haven't seen a whole lot of Rizzo, but what we have seen, he looks like a guy that wants to get his arms extended. He uses the opposite field well. Most of his hits in this series have come to the opposite field, including a single in his last at bat in the 4th.
For a big guy, he keeps that bat in the hitting zone a nice long time. He doesn't have to really square it up to make solid contact.
Gallardo back in there, and he strikes out Rizzo, slams his bat. Giovanni Gallardo adds another strikeout to his total. That's number 7. Strands a runner at first. Good slider from Gallardo. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time.
For just $50, purchase 4 Terrace Reserve tickets to select Sunday home games and get 4 coupons for free hot dogs and small sodas. Family Day tickets are $12.50 each. Visit brewers.com/family days.
Good crowd on hand today, Wednesday afternoon for baseball. The Brewers will return to Miller Park next Friday, just a 3-game homestand. It'll be the Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Labor Day weekend. Ryan Braun ready to lead off. 2-1 Milwaukee. with 2 first-inning runs. Braun produced 1 of them. Had an RBI double in the first. And now 84 runs batted in. He's just 1 behind Carlos Beltran of the Cardinals, the league leader. Cardinals have 2 of the top 3 run producers in Beltran and Matt Holliday. A couple of guys you can put in the MVP discussion along with Ryan Braun. Andrew McCutchen is in there. You figure Buster Posey. Braun hits that one high and deep right center. Jackson at the wall. There it goes. Ryan Braun adds to his league-leading home run count. Number 34, and the Brewers have a 3-1 lead.
When's the last time he actually pulled the ball for a home run? Everything up the middle to the opposite field, all the way around from pretty much straightaway center around to the right field line for Ryan Braun. Number 34 on the year. And Travis Wood making a mistake with a fastball right down the middle up in the zone, and Ryan Braun not going to miss many of those. A tremendous opposite field stroke that he's putting together right now. Some kind of hitter.
Ryan Braun with his 5th home run on the homestand in 7 games. He has been on a home run binge, and remember, he went over 50 at-bats without a home run until this homestand began. He hadn't homered since August 1st, and he strung 5 together in this 7-game stretch against the Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. Adam Dunn leads all of baseball in home runs with 36. And then Josh Hamilton 34. Ryan Braun now at 34. Ball with 2 strikes on Aramis Ramirez. Braun has a great chance to get into that 40 home run club this year if he stays healthy the rest of the season, with 40 games remaining, including this one. Ramirez down on strikes. That is the 5th strikeout for Travis Wood. Updating the Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun now 34. The Brewers lead the league in home runs. Well, the Yankees have hit more home runs than Milwaukee. At 40 home run territory in franchise history, pretty select list. Ryan Braun has yet to hit 40 in a season. Prince Fielder did it a couple of times, including the franchise single season record when he hit 50 home runs.
Yeah, Richie Sexton did it a couple of times, 45 home runs in 2 different years. Gorman Thomas and Ben Oglivie. Big spike with a 45 home run season. Not just a pretty face, Gorman Thomas.
Corey Hart ahead in the count, 2-1. Now Hart with his 2 doubles today, 55 extra base hits. Braun now 58 extra base hits. 3rd and 4th in the league in that category as Hart sends one to right. Brian LaHare, an experienced right fielder, makes the catch. 2 gone in the inning. And this is the list that always impresses. As Ryan Braun keeps climbing this list, he is 2 away from the splendid splinter, Ted Williams. Now this is home runs through a player's first 6 seasons in the history of Major League Baseball, and there's a chance that Ryan Braun, and you're looking at that number maybe with Mark Teixeira,
get around there. Be tough to catch Eddie Matthews, that's for sure. That would be a heck of a finish for Ryan Braun.
An impressive list, and it just gives context to the kind of start to a career that Ryan Braun is off to.
And the amazing thing is Ryan Braun knows he doesn't have to pull the baseball to hit him out of the ballpark, particularly here at Miller Park. Opposite field power. He's been using right field very well.
Two outs in the inning. And Maldonado chases one. You made mention that you thought Braun might be a little further off the plate these days. Maybe that was the adjustment that has freed up his swing a little bit.
Well, I went back and looked at video, and if he's off the plate, it's just a minute distance. It looks pretty much the same as he's been. Just looked like it to me a couple of days. It looked as though he was a little bit further off, but maybe not. But he certainly is covering that outside corner like he always has. And just tough guy to pitch to. When he's seeing the baseball well and he's got that swing grooved, doesn't matter where it is or who's throwing it. He's going to hit it hard somewhere.
Well, Ryan Braun leading the league in homers, also leading the league in home run ratio. His at-bats per home runs just over 13, so he goes every 13 at-bats between home runs. That's best in the National League by a long shot. Carlos Beltran is second on that list. It's about every 15 at-bats for Beltran. Maldonado hits that one pretty well to center field, but Jackson is there. And Travis Wood is out of the sixth, but not before Ryan Braun, the MVP, putting together another MVP-like season. His 34th home run makes it 3-1. Here, 6 innings in the books. Our Toyota game summary. David DeJesus starts the game with a home run for the Cubs. But the Brewers come right back. Ryan Braun, an RBI double in the bottom of the first, scored Aoki. And then Corey Hart broke his bat. A double down the left field line that scored Braun. And the Brewers took the lead in the first inning. Braun added to it just moments ago. Home run number 34 for Braun. His second hit of the day, now 2 RBIs. That joins him atop the league lead with Beltran and RBIs as well. 3-1 Brewers as we head to the 7th inning, and first ball swinging. Brian LaHair sends one out of here. And that one didn't take long to get out. LaHair with his 15th home run of the season. Jumping on the first Gallardo offering.
And look, that was a little bit down in the strike zone. He was having a tough time with pitches upstairs. And with all the pitches that these Cub hitters have been taking throughout this series, particularly for strike 3, LaHair decided to attack early, fastball down, and he gets the bat head out on it and knocks it out of here. He crushes that one out of here.
Here's Steve Clevenger. for Brian LaHare. That's his first home run since the 4th of July. In a long home run drought, his playing time has been cut short with the arrival of Anthony Rizzo.
We're talking about his last at bat. He likes the ball down. And no doubt he proved it right there.
So it's 3-2 as the Brewers and the Cubs exchange home runs. Braun's homer keeps him in the lead. Clevenger takes strike 2. 2-2 now on the Cubs catcher. Clevenger missed some time with an oblique injury. And down he goes. Clevenger knew it.
Not sure what they're looking for, because most of the pitches that they're taking for third strikes have been fastball. Just once Giovanni's been able to drop a curveball in the outside corner. I think that was to Jackson his last time up. And there's a fastball, four-seamer, catching plenty of the plate. Just watches it go by.
Strikeout number 8 for Gallardo. One away here in the 7th inning. Brett Jackson takes strike 1. 3-2 Brewers. Been a tight one today. Very well pitched ball game. Gallardo and Travis Wood. As Gallardo hits the 100 pitch plateau. Quickly 0-2 on Jackson. It'll be interesting to see what Roenicke does with his bullpen the rest of the way. He did essentially announce that John Axford is his closer once again. Axford got the final out last night for a save.
It looks like Cameron Lowe's up in the bullpen. K-Rod's been throwing very well. Any sign of problems in this inning, you're probably going to see Cameron Lowe. And you might see K-Rod in the 8th.
Strike called. Gallardo punches out Jackson. And Brett Jackson not happy with that call. The rookie arguing with the crew chief.
Well, 9th strikeout for Giovanni Gallardo, and 7 of them are looking. Had to swing the bat, young man. That ball looked like it might have been a little bit low. Too close to take with 2. And the second consecutive at bat that Brett Jackson was rung up on a 3rd strike.
Darwin Barney aggressive, swings away at the first pitch.
You'd think he'd learn after one time, right? Go down swinging. Isn't that the old saying?
Absolutely. I say it all the time.
If I'm going down swinging. You can use that in just about any aspect of life, right?
Nine strikeouts for Gallardo. LaHare has the only swinging strike 3 today when he chased a high fastball. Bouncer foul. Check that. LaHare and Rizzo. 2 of the 9. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. LaHare homered in this inning to make it a 1-run game. Gallardo trying to get through 7 once again. Bouncing ball, Ricky Weeks. And Barney is out, and Gallardo is through 7. 9 strikeouts for Giovanni Gallardo. Is he going to win his 5th in a row? He's in position.
To social media with Sophia Minard, and of course we're keeping the rivalry theme going. This one though puts the fans in a tough spot today.
Fans in a pickle today. We asked them, would you rather go to a game with a Cubs fan or see the Cardinals win another World Series? Now, +2 fans said definitely sitting next to a Cubs fan, because when we the Brewers sweep them, we can rub it in right next to them. Hopefully fans get that opportunity today. Reviewing the Brews said, Cubs fan, at least we can both agree on hating the Cardinals. And Tyler said, game with the Cubs fan, the pain only lasts one day, not all offseason. Bill and Brian, I think the sting from that NLCS loss is still a little fresh for fans.
No question. And not surprising, those responses. Those are the clean ones.
Yeah, I think you might have a different response. Yeah, right. You might have a different response had the Brewers and Cubs, were having a good year. I mean, a little bit down for the Cubs this year, and the fan base not nearly as much of a presence here at Miller Park in this series. I get what they're saying. I mean, you can sit next to a Cub fan, they win a game, you're over it in a couple of minutes. But that Cardinals World Series lasted all winter. Good question, though.
Spurring interest across the social media platform today. As Carlos Gomez leads off. 3-2 Brewers. They lead it here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And Cameron Lowe continues to throw. I mean, Ron Renneke showing a lot of confidence in Cameron. He's been throwing the baseball very well. He's looked good.
It looks like Gallardo's done. You've got Gallardo's spot in the batting order coming up 3rd in this inning.
Actually, that's Henderson, isn't it?
Saw Lowe up last inning in case Gallardo ran into some trouble. Now Henderson. Giovanni Gallardo terrific again. He is putting together a tremendous run right now. He's got a chance to win his 5th consecutive start. And in all of his starts in this stretch, he's gone at least 7 innings. As Gomez draws the walk.
Good guy to have out on the bases. That first walk issued by Travis Wood. He's been throwing strikes all day.
Gomez a base stealer, but Travis Wood is a tough guy to steal a base off of as a pitcher.
And he's only allowed 10 stolen bases in his big league career. He's got a good move, and he's very quick to home plate.
A career that goes back to the 2010 season. Up and down that year with the Reds. Up and down last year with the Reds. Same this year for the Cubs. Cody Ransom now. Gomez has a big lead over there. Gomez has 23 stolen bases. The most for him since the 08 season. That was the year he stole 33 with the Twins. And Gomez missed significant time with a hamstring injury this year.
And Clevenger's only thrown out 11% of would-be base stealers. That's not very good. Only 4 out of 36. It's a good opportunity if Gomez is able to get a jump.
I don't blame Clevenger for wanting a fastball. As Ransom now bunts and pulls it back. Takes a ball.
Well, the fact that Ransom's up there to bunt leads you to believe that Gallardo is going to be hit for here. No way he'd be bunting if Yo was going to get another inning and get an at bat.
Jeff Bianchi was added to the Major League roster today. I have not spotted Bianchi yet in the Brewers dugout. I'm not sure he's arrived. He had to travel in from Omaha today. There's a bunt. It's a good one. And Wood will tag Ransom out. Gomez advances. Wood. Travis Wood. He pounces off that mound. He was going to try to give himself a chance to maybe throw behind Gomez at second base. But there's the first out and a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, well done by Ransom, able to deaden that ball nicely down the line. As you mentioned, Travis Wood just busted over there to get the out. And Jonathan Lucroy is going to get an at bat. Not too many better in situations like this. Runner in scoring position than Jonathan Lucroy. And we'll see if Dale Swain allows Lucroy to swing the bat, or they may walk him intentionally and set up a double play. We'll see.
Got a base open at first. That officially ends the day for Yovani Gallardo. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, and 9 strikeouts for Gallardo. Jim Henderson ready in the bullpen. He'll have the 8th. So here's Lucroy now. He's had a great series against the Cubs. He's found his stroke. Had 2 home runs against Chicago on Monday.
You might want to see if Lucroy is going to expand his strike zone, maybe swinging a pitch out of the zone. Surprising that if they're going to pitch to him that they don't bring in the right-hander. This kind of makes you wonder if they're just going to try and pitch around him here. You got Aoki on deck, another lefty.
Lucroy with 6 RBIs in the first 2 games of this series. As a pinch hitter this year, Lucroy has been exceptional. 4 for 8, a .500 batting average, has 6 runs batted in. Braun has no qualms about using his backup catcher on that particular day as a pinch hitter. Gomez takes off and the ball gets away, and Gomez is coming home. The throw to the plate. Gomez is out.
Yeah, not a good idea there. Not with 1 out.
Base running mistake by Carlos Gomez.
And a little aggressive there. And Clevenger jumped on that baseball very quickly. Travis Wood covered the plate. Gomez running on the pitch. Ball gets by Clevenger, and right about there you figure Gomez is in trouble, and he's an easy out at home plate. Going to be a stolen base for Carlos Gomez. The stolen base third. We'll go down as a 2-1 putout.
And let's hope that one doesn't come back to bite the Brewers. Had a great jump to steal third, and sitting there with 1 out and Lucroy at the plate, but runs into an out at the plate. 2 outs now.
Now you take off on a ball like that, you're already at third base. You've got only 1 out. The only way you really take off is you feel as though you can walk home and just stand up and touch home plate, especially when you have Jonathan Lucroy up the plate. Very good with runners in scoring position.
2-2 to Lucroy. Wood was walking off the mound, thought he had a called strike 3 there.
I don't blame him. Not sure where that missed.
Full count. And Lucroy sends one in the air to left. De Jesus with room. Inning over. 3-2 out score. Gallardo exits. The Brewers lead. We go to the 8th. Braun Renicky going to turn it over to his bullpen to try to take it the rest of the way. Giovanni Gallardo, our Pizza Hut delivery of the game today. He was outstanding once again. Rocked 7 strong, 2 runs allowed. He punches out 9.
And he really had good command of his fastball. I mean, that's been the key to his success in his last 5 starts, including today. Made some good pitches with the slider and the curveball, but 7 of his 9 strikeouts were called strikes, which means he was right on the corners and keeping the ball right where he wanted it. And Jim Henderson coming on for the 14th time. He appeared in yesterday's ball game. 3 for 4 in saves and a .435 earned run average. A very good walk to, or I should say, strikeout to innings pitch ratio. 17 punch outs in 10 1/3 innings.
Now, overall, the bullpen has been very good. The embattled Brewers bullpen has started to turn things around lately over this 9-game stretch. A 3.56 earned run average.
Now, you knew it was going to happen. I mean, these guys have had a lot of success in their past, and every one of them went through a bad stretch just about at the same time. And as they say, you're never as bad as you think you are when things aren't going well. And this bullpen has proven it in the last handful of games.
So Henderson in a setup role today. Hard throwing right-hander. Josh Vitters will lead off. He'll pinch hit for Travis Wood. Wood goes 7 innings, 3 runs, and 6 strikeouts. He pitched well today. Henderson pitched in the 9th inning last night. Did give up a hit in a 1/3 of an inning. Axford came on to save the game, got the final out. There's a strike, 1-1 on Vitters. Vitters has not been used all that often as a pinch hitter. He's just 1 for 3. Young third baseman, the rookie.
This has some pop in his bat. He had a home run last night.
And he fouls that one away.
First career home run to go along with a lot of strikeouts in this series.
Vitters is part of the Cubs rebuild. Talented young third baseman and a former first-round draft pick. He was the 3rd pick overall back in 07 out of high school. Vitters is hitting just 122. He's only posted 41 big league at bats, has 5 hits. In AAA Iowa this year, it's 17 home runs. Bouncing ball. Cody Ransom is there. And Henderson has his first out. Back to the top of the order now. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Pirates from Pittsburgh. Believe it or not, it's the first trip to Pittsburgh this year for Milwaukee. And a 3-game series starting Friday. And with the Brewers releasing Randy Wolf today, the starting pitching rotation somewhat cleared up. You'll have Mike Fiers on Friday, and then Sean Markham will pitch Saturday. David DeJesus popped his 6th home run of the year to lead the game off against Gallardo. And Gallardo would keep the Cubs at 1 until Brian LaHare homered in the 7th.
The only time the Cubs were able to put multiple hits together in an inning was the 4th. Back-to-back 1-out singles, but Giovanni able to strand them both. Been a tough year offensively for Dale Swaim and his Chicago Cubs.
One ball, 1 strike on DeJesus. 2-1. These are some big innings for Jim Henderson, trying to pitch his way onto a big league roster for next season. He's shown flashes of greatness here for the Brewers. Had a couple of saves in back-to-back games against the Reds, and then had a couple of rough outings on the road trip. Took a loss against the Astros in Houston and had a blown save against Colorado. 29-year-old rookie, and he walks De Jesus. So there's the tying run.
And that's what's made him so good so far with Milwaukee. You know, not walking many batters, only the 4th walk allowed by Henderson to go along with 17 strikeouts. 17 strikeouts in 13 innings. Not too bad.
Well, the Cubs with a tying run on now. The go-ahead run comes to the plate in Luis Valbuena. Valbuena getting the start at third base today. And there's strike one. Well placed fastball from Henderson. Valbuena up from AAA Iowa. He was putting up good numbers there as well. A .303 hitter in AAA. Had some power. 8 home runs. Good year to be in the upper levels of the Cubs minor league system. And those who were putting together good seasons in the minor leagues have found their way to the big leagues. Valbuena and Rizzo, Brett Jackson, Josh Vitters, all new names on the scene for Cubs fans. Two balls and a strike.
A lot of rookies on this current Cubs roster, 8 of them on the active roster. And that's a ton. Young players here in the latter part of August.
Cubs have used 16 rookies this year, and 10 of those 16 making their major league debuts this season. 3 balls and a strike. And now Henderson is in a tough spot.
And not the guy you want to walk to bring up Castro. Then Rizzo coming up.
Gotta throw him a strike. There's Castro, their best hitter. Went with a fastball, and Valbuena fouls it away. 3-2 now. Manny Parra's getting loose. You got the right-handed hitting Castro on deck, the lefty Rizzo in the hold. I figure this is Henderson's inning, at least for the next 2 hitters. 3-2 Brewers. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Little broken bat coming in is Aoki. He's got it. And he winds it up. The throw is in time. A double play. No. I beg your pardon, dropped the ball. A ring up by the umpire, but the ball popped free. As Corey could not come up with it.
Yeah, what a nice play by Nori Aoki out there in right field. But how about the deke? The deke over there at second base by Cody Ransom. And had Corey kept that in the glove, that would have been a double play. But you're right, the umpire rung him up. Did not see that Corey dropped the baseball. Umpire's not in the shot right there. He never saw Corey drop it until right at the end. Never did have it.
Would have had him. So instead of a double play to end the inning, as Corey Hart, a rare miscue by the converted outfielder at first base. 2 outs now. Here's Castro. An excellent fastball hitter, Starlin Castro.
Boy, that was a heck of a job out there by Cody Ransom, deking David DeJesus and thinking that ball was on the ground. Took him a while to get back. DeJesus was fooled out there at second base, and that's the only reason why it was close at first base.
Henderson checks on DeJesus. The tying run. Castro had a wild swing at that first Henderson offering. Really stepped in the bucket with his lead foot. This guy is a very good hitter. 1 for 2 today with a walk. Another one.
Just like the first. Not seeing it very well. Don't see too many swings like this from Starlin Castro. I'm sure Henderson will take one more.
And what makes Castro so good is his ability to use the opposite field. The National League leader in hits last year as a 21-year-old. 0-2 pitch. And doesn't bite on the breaking ball. Big spot for Jim Henderson. Should be out of the inning. Tying run at first. And the 1-2. Fouled it away. Got in on his hands that time.
At 95, 96 miles per hour with a fastball for Henderson. Just don't want to leave a slider up in the zone. So far he's been doing a good job keeping that pitch down and away. That's where you want it. Don't make a mistake to this guy with that slider. I'm going to throw over.
Now DeJesus very fast, but doesn't steal a whole lot of bases. Just has 6 steals this year. He's been caught 6 times. Speed doesn't necessarily mean you're a base stealer. But anything in a gap or down the line, DeJesus would have a great chance to score. The 1-2 pitch and a bouncer foul. And again, Castro puts himself in a tough spot to hit a baseball. He's no Al Simmons. His nickname was Bucketfoot, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He made it work.
And Bucketfoot could still hit the right. He still hit to the opposite field. Tough to do.
A Wisconsin native, by the way. Going back to the heat. 1-2 pitch, and down he goes. Stuck with the fastballs, and Jim Henderson strikes out a dangerous hitter. Brewers still on top, 3-2 as Henderson adds to the strikeout totals.
bench run or two before this one is over, before we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game. Got to go to Ryan Braun, Dave. He's due up 3rd this inning, and he's responsible for 2 of the 3 RBIs so far.
Well, Ryan Braun right now is swinging the bat very well. You know, the guy has great hand-eye coordination. And when you look at all of his home runs, the majority of them go to center, to right center. So that means he's staying on the ball, and he's swinging very well.
So Ryan Braun with the early RBI double and home run number 34 on the season for Braun. He'll bat 3rd this inning. Davey and I sticking around for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the game. Get inside that Brewer clubhouse as they go for the sweep against the Cubs.
And trying to make it a 5-2 homestand. James Russell is on the mound for the Cubs as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order coming up for Milwaukee. And a 3-2 Brewer lead.
Yeah, Russell on for the 60th time this year. He's having a nice season out in that Cubs bullpen. 5-1, a 364 earned run average. Yeah, 2 left-handers for Dale Swaim out in that bullpen. Alex Hinshaw added recently. James Russell has been a go-to guy all year.
Nori Aoki, who has a hit today. He's 1 for 3. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Had the double and the run scored in the 1st inning. And Russell deals strike 1. Cubs are off tomorrow. They're headed home to face the Rockies over the weekend. The Brewers are headed to Pittsburgh. Pop up into foul territory, and there is the first out. The Brewers will see the Cubs next week. Monday through Thursday, a 4-game series. The first 3, by the way, if you're thinking about coming down to Wrigley Field, first 3 games are night games. The final game of the series on Thursday is a day game, a 1:20 start. As Dale Swaim will take the ball from Russell. He retires the left-hander. And with a string of right-handers coming up, Swaim will make a pitching change. He'll set up the new hurler when we come back. Sean Camp is on to work for the Cubs. As Dale Swaim makes a call to the bullpen, new pitcher. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question. Sarah in Tosa wants to know, which with Brewers pitchers throwing lots of strikeouts each game, does that increase pitch counts?
Absolutely. That's what, minimum 3 pitches per batter, right? Every strikeout. And you know, you talk about the strikeouts for the Brewers. I mean, they've walked a lot of batters as well, so that adds to the pitch count. One thing that every pitcher would like to do, you know, starters in particular, get outs early in the count. That's why they try and sink the fastball once in a while, incorporate that cutter. As Sean Camp comes on for the 62nd time this year, that leads all National League relievers in the National League. A .375 earned run average.
Facing Ricky Weeks to start it here, his first batter. Aoki retired by Russell. Weeks, then Braun. 3-2 Brewers clinging to a 1-run lead, trying to sweep the Cubs. John Axford will have the 9th for the Brewers. A lot of breaking balls from Sean Kemp.
And he's got a good slider. He's got that arm angle that makes it relatively easy for him to get some break on it. Not a lot of tilt to it. Doesn't go down much, but it has a big sweeping break to it.
Looking ahead to the Cubs' 9th inning. They'll be right in the middle of their order. Anthony Rizzo, Brian LaHare, and Steve Clevenger. 4, 5, and 6.
And remember, Alfonso Soriano on the bench did not start today.
You could see Soriano hit for Clevenger. The Axeman will have the 9th. Back in the closer's role. Ricky Weeks. Fly ball to center. And there is out number 2. So Kemp retires his first hitter. Now Ryan Braun coming up. He's had a great day. 2 hits, a double, a home run, 2 runs batted in. Adding to his league-leading home run totals with his 34th. He is now again tied for the league lead in RBIs with 85. He's tied with Carlos Beltran of the Cardinals.
I can't imagine why Sean Kemp would throw him a strike.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Sweeping breaking balls and Ryan Braun go very well together.
There's one right down the middle.
I think Braun surprised he threw him a strike.
Right.
Two balls and 1 strike now. Ryan Braun's batting average at .306. He continues to stay inside the top 10 in hitting. Andrew McCutchen leads the league in hitting. Braun lifts one in the air to right. Long way to go. LaHare, the ball falling fast. That's a fair ball down in the corner. And Braun on his way to third with a triple.
Why would you throw him a strike? I mean, is there any reason why you throw that guy a strike? Well, now he's at third base. Ball stayed in somehow, rattling around down in that corner. And there's that right field stroke again for Ryan Braun. He's something else. Hasn't had too many hits toward left field these days. They're pitching him away. That's where he's going. And you can see that ball stays in play. Bouncing around that corner, and now he's 60 or 90 feet from home plate.
You got to remember, LaHare is new to the position, not normally an outfielder. Ryan Braun with a double, a home run, and now a triple today. 3 hits. And here is Ramirez. Well, that would be a big run to pick up for the Brew Crew. A 2-out triple by Braun. That one's ripped. Jackson is over, and he'll run it down. Ramirez hit it like a rocket. But the inning ends, and it's a 1-run game. 3-2 Milwaukee. The Axeman cometh. Is he back? Saved the game last night. Got a save opportunity ahead of him here today. day for Ryan Braun. This one coming right down to the wire. 9th inning, 3-2 Milwaukee, and John Axford is on to try to save it. It would be his 20th. You see the Columbia St. Mary's save tracker at 19. Picked up number 19 last night, did Axford, and his last fastball was clocked at 99 miles an hour.
He's looked much better because he's had better command of his fastball. He's mixing in a few more sliders these days. 19 for 27 for John Axford.
Got a power hitter at the plate. Anthony Rizzo leads off, and there is strike one. 97 with the heat. Rizzo is 1 for 3 today. His base hit came to the opposite field. Axford asked Ron Renicky if he could have the closers roll back. Wanted to be back in that spot. He had pitched well out of late relief. Rizzo fouls one off his foot again. That's the second time he's done that today.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit more than the first. When you pound one off your foot coming in at you at about 96, 97, they're going to be stinging a little bit more. I think maybe that's what Ron Renicky was waiting for from John Axford. You know, sitting around waiting for his closer to come back to him and say, hey, look, I've got confidence. I'm ready to go.
Axford working extensively in the bullpen with Lee Tunnell, trying to tweak some of the mechanics. It really cost him his command, especially with his breaking ball. And there's a breaking ball. That's the one he's been looking for. The slider strikes out Rizzo. Put it in the perfect spot. Did his homework with Rizzo.
Yeah, right under the bat right there. That's a good one. That's what we were talking about. He's mixing in more sliders than curveballs these days, and because of that, he's been able to throw more strikes. Able to locate it much better.
Gallardo struck out Rizzo on that same pitch back in the 6th inning. So one gone. Here is Lahair, who homered on the first pitch he saw in the 7th inning. Gallardo surrendered that home run. Axford starts him with a curveball. The Brewer pitching staff this series against the Cubs, 35 strikeouts. And it's 11 more today. Ooh, Lahair had a big cut.
Yeah, get that ball down about 3 inches. He's going to give it a pretty good ride. You get it up in the zone, he has a tough time with it, like all hitters, particularly lefties.
Lahair hitting his first home run since the 4th of July. Had a monster first half and earned an all-star bid. From an all-star to a role player for the Cubs now. So Lahair's put up big power numbers throughout his minor league career. 2 balls, 1 strike. 3-1. Missed with a fastball.
You see when John's been mixing in that curveball, that's normally when he gets himself in trouble. Not able to throw it for a strike. Finds himself down in the count and has to come in with a fastball. A little different when he mixes in that slider, which is a little bit easier to do against right-handed batters. And now he's forced to throw a fastball.
Big pitch coming here. 3-1 to Lahair. And he got it in on his hands.
Got it by him.
98-mile-an-hour fastball. And here's Lahair. You know he's sitting on a fastball. Still late. And Maldonado wants to have a chat with Axford. Our Home Depot doing more on defense today. How about the play by Corey Hart in the shadows on a line drive?
I never saw it. Did you?
I did not.
Corey did.
I heard it though.
Yeah.
That was was off the bat of Brett Jackson in the second inning, and that was a double play that ended the inning. Gallardo went 7 strong, 2 earned runs. Axford trying to finish it for him as LaHair fouls that one away.
Yeah, that's his hot zone right there. That last pitch down in the zone. LaHair knows he had a pitch to hit and did not make the most of it. Right down the middle, about a little bit above the knees.
Maldonado asking for a couple of shakes. Back to the fastball. 3-2 to LaHair. Fouled that one back.
He's just sitting dead red.
And he's still not getting around on it.
And John Axford would love to be able to go to that curveball. You remember last year, this would be a curveball situation, and he'd get a called strike 3 on a number of occasions. Just doesn't have that pitch for him this year.
Could be a dangerous pitch here. A slider on a 3-2 count. And LaHair watches it go by. John Axford picking up 2 strikeouts in the 9th inning, both on sliders.
Anything other than a fastball for strike, and it was going to be trouble for LaHair. He throws the slider. It's not even a good one. It's a hanger. But anything but a fastball is a good pitch right there. I mean, you're fouling off 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastballs. You know that you're vulnerable to the breaking ball.
Cubs down to their last out. Here's Clevenger. He swings at the first pitch, and it is foul. Jim Henderson worked a scoreless 8th. Axford with 2 strikeouts in the 9th. Dale Swaim sticking with Clevenger here. Remember, he has Alfonso Soriano available. As Clevenger fouls it away. 0-2 the count. On their feet. Strike away from a sweep. And did he go? No, he didn't.
Close.
Artie Foster palms down, able to check his swing.
That's where you want that 0-2 curveball.
Oh, good call. One ball, 2 strikes. Clevenger on the ground, and that's a base hit. Good piece of hitting. Clevenger singles with 2 outs and 2 strikes, and the tying run is aboard for the Cubs.
Yep, and he's able to get on top of a big fastball from Axford. He laid off the curveball. Figured that Axford's coming back with a fastball, and he got it.
Joe Mather will pinch run. Clevenger is out. Mather with good speed on the bases. And you might see him try to steal a base here against Axford. Brett Jackson at the plate. 2 outs in the 9th in a 3-2 ball game. Swing and a miss. Jackson has struck out twice today. He hit that hot line drive that turned into a double play that we just showed you a moment ago. Strike 2. 98 with a fastball. It's 0-2. Maldonado certainly remembers that Jackson was arguing his last time up on a called strike 3. See how far he'll go. Twice he's been called out on strikes. 0-2 pitch. Fastball missed.
They like to take pitches, don't they? That's a risky pitch to take right there.
Jackson representing the go-ahead run. 1-2, and that one misses badly. 2-2 the count.
And they're pretty much forced to go fastball now. I mean, 1-2, you think he might go with the curveball. Did not do it. Now if you're Jackson, you can sit on fastball, or at least you think.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Ball game over. The Brewers sweep the Cubs. John Axford strikes out the side. And the Brewers strike out 37 Cubs in this 3-game series. Makes a winner out of Yovani Gallardo. Now 13-8. Axford number 20. 3-2 final score. The Brewers hit the road after a 5-2 homestand. Much more still to come on this one. Craig Kashawn is out there. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, for the third